All right. So, the White House, folks, the White House, it's a house. I don't know if you've heard of it, and it's white, and it's the White House. So this is from NPR, um, so let's check this out. Why the White House wants to put nutrition labels on the front of food packages. So, um, I guess this is food in here, I guess. But there you go. Joe Biden is going to like some food and nutrition summit. Now again, I talk about on my show food all the time, and so on this show, I talk about food. I talk about the American diet. Once again, 93% of Americans have a form of metabolic dysfunction. Their metabolism doesn't work, and a lot of people don't even know what a metabolism is. They think, oh, I've got a slow metabolism, as if that's like a genetic thing. No, it's actually almost very little to do with your genetics. Obviously, genes have predispositions for everything, but your metabolism is slow because you don't know how to feed yourself. You're a child, you never grew out of the age of 7, and you can't cook, and you're buying processed garbage all the time, so that's why your metabolism is slow. But once again, metabolic dysfunction leads to pre-diabetes, as well as other long time, in some areas, lifetime chronic diseases. So 95% of Americans, folks, don't take my word for it. Look it up. Use the internet. 95% of Americans don't eat fiber. They don't eat fiber. What is fiber? Fiber is one of the most important parts of food. Insoluble fiber helps feed your gut's microbiome of bacteria. Soluble fiber also helps, feed your gut's microbiome. It also helps you absorb the nutrients in the food that you're eating more effectively, because if you don't have fiber in your system, your microbiome will be feeding on the food that you ate, and therefore if you're eating 10 pounds or whatever, 10 grams of protein and no fiber, that microbiome is going to feast, and you might only get like a couple grams of protein out of it, depending on how far along you are in. So 95% of Americans, they don't eat vegetables, they don't eat fruit, they're just fucking stupid motherfuckers. Now they'll have fruit juice, right? That's great. I love fruit juice. I'll have lettuce on a cheeseburger, right? I mean, classic. But Americans, the diet of the average American is so horrible. It is so horrible that diseases that used to only be associated with like royalty are now commonplace in America. So how does that happen? Well, I mean, we could talk about Richard Nixon. Richard Nixon in the late 60s, early 70s, instituted massive sweeping food programs in this country, but not good food programs. Richard Nixon, a lot of people claim, and they may say this, that Richard Nixon was racist. There's extremely copious amounts of examples that provide that to be a true statement. And so Richard Nixon created a food program in this country because he thought if he didn't feed Americans properly, that a bunch of black people were going to destroy the country. And you can look in Richard Nixon's internal memos. He would often say, the blacks are going to destroy us all if we don't figure out this food insecurity stuff. So anyway, what happened in the 1970s was Richard Nixon spearheaded programs to basically mass manufacture corn in this country. That's why corn is in everything. We have high fructose corn syrup and everything. And so every food is infused with corn in some way for the most part. And high fructose corn syrup, it's in barbecue sauce, it's in ketchup, it's in salad dressing. If you buy salad dressing at the store, salad dressing, I know, you're eating a salad, right? Okay, you want to be healthy. If you buy store-bought salad dressing, guess what? High fructose corn syrup, you're getting sugar out the wham-wham. So, again, there's high fructose corn syrup and everything. Corn-fed meats are significantly less healthy than alternatives, to the point where it's essentially just poison. I mean, meat in this country it's at the grocery store. If you're going to any grocery store, chances of you being able to buy meat that's not poisoned is pretty much 0%. So again, why do I say all this? Well, because our country is fucked up. We learned in the last 50 years that now we live in a country where 95% of Americans, they don't eat fruit, they don't eat vegetables, they're fucking stupid, they don't know how to cook, they don't know how to do any of this shit. And so again, think about it, a pandemic right? Let's just metabolic dysfunction. Metabolic syndrome leads to inflammation, which reduces the effectiveness of your immune system, because your immune system, what is inflammation? Well, inflammation is your immune system, fighting some stupid garbage that it shouldn't because of your bad diet. So if your immune system is too busy fighting stupid garbage and fighting itself, when a virus enters your system, it's going to wreak havoc. So now we're in a situation where, again, 82% of kids in this country under 18 have had coronavirus at least one time. I'm sure their diet's not that great. And long COVID is around 30 to 40% of people that develop COVID. And so, again, we're pretty much fucked. And it's, needless to say, it's not in the good dick way. So what is Joe Biden going to do about this? I know it's a long preamble. What is Joe Biden going to do about this? So I've noticed that Joe Biden has said, he's teased that this kind of stuff is going to be on the what is it, on the pike? Is that the phrase? On the pike? I don't know. But it's coming. And so we have some more information here. The Biden administration is proposing that nutrition labels go on the front of food packages rather on the back. That'll get them. It's part of a strategy to end hunger and diet-related diseases in America in 8 years. Some 40 pages of ideas to try to make the nation healthier. The White House unveiled the plan ahead of a conference on hunger, nutrition, health being held in Washington on Wednesday, the first of its kind since 1969. Now, once again, who was president in 1969? When a similar effort sparked programs like food stamps. The strategy includes expanding nutrition assistance programs and launching more programs to cover medically tailored meals. But it's unclear how quickly most of the ideas could become reality, since many recommendations hinge on support from a divided Congress and changes to regulations. So Congress, Republicans are never going to do this. They're never going to do this. Advocates say following through on the plan could take years, unlike the 69 conference when most of the new programs were implemented within 2 years. The White House wants to expand food programs like school lunches. The administration wants to expand existing food security programs to more people. This includes ideas like expanding school meals to all students, making it easier for more kids to get food during the summer months when school is out, allowing people who were formerly incarcerated or in college to receive food stamps. Now, I didn't even know that was a thing until recently. But yeah, if you're a felon, it makes it way more difficult to get government assistance programs. But school meals. Now, I just want to say this one. I've been to school. I dropped out when I was 16, but I did go there for a considerable portion of my life. And when I was in school, there were school lunches. You had to pay for them. I never did. I would just, if I don't want to go into my whole scholastic career, but, I've been to school. I've seen the school lunches. You got pizza, mac and cheese, hot dogs, right? There's a vending machine right in the lunchroom. You gobble down 3 Mountain Dews, right? So if that is what we're talking about when it comes to free school lunches, this is only going to make the problem worse. Now, I'm saying I'd rather them have food than no food, right? But, I'm skeptical whether or not a lot of these school lunches are even referred to as food. Like, really, what is food? When you think about it, I want to provide everyone a little bit of a thought experiment. When you think of the word food, what do you think of? Is alcohol food? You put it in your body, right? Is that food? Not really. Is coffee food? Not really. What is food, right? Food, theoretically, something that provides energy and nutrition to your body to, keep your organs in shape, to make sure your body is functioning, right? So in the same way that alcohol isn't food, right? I don't know, man, those frozen rectangle pizzas and the hot dogs, that's not food either. What is the nutritional value of that shit? I'm just asking. There is none. What is the nutritional value of mac and cheese? Really, let's be honest. There is none. There is no nutritional value. Now, again, I'm not saying no one should be allowed to have mac and cheese. I'm not saying no one should be allowed to have pizza, right? It's all about moderation, right? But when you're eating pizza and hot dogs every day at school lunch, that's going to fuck you up. Not to mention the chemical addiction that's going to develop in your brain. You're going to be addicted to this poisonous substance. Again, sugar has been found to be more addictive than caffeine, more addictive than cigarettes. When people quit smoking, what do they often pick up? A sugar addiction. Sugar has been found to be more addictive than alcohol. And also, sugar is found to be especially more addictive in kids, and it develops long-term food addiction. So again, school lunch programs, great. But, we got to work on what this is. So if I feed a 12-year-old a beer, right? Oh, I'm going to go to jail. That's, I'm poisoning a child, right? And I agree. You shouldn't give 12-year-olds beer. But on the same vein, you shouldn't give 12-year-olds ice cream every day. You shouldn't give 12-year-olds Mountain Dew every day. I'm just saying, what's Mountain Dew got in it? Caffeine. Usually around 60 or 70 milligrams of caffeine per can of Mountain Dew. How many grams of sugar are in a Mountain Dew can? Last time I checked, it's about 50 or 60 grams of sugar, mostly in the form of high fructose corn syrup. Now again, I've been to school. I'm 26 years old, so I dropped out about 10 years ago. And but before that, I would see people drink 2-3 sodas a day at school lunch, right? That is almost 2 cups of coffee worth of caffeine, right? That's like well over 150 grams of sugar, mostly in the form of high fructose corn syrup, and that's every day, 5 days a week. So, I don't know, man. I'm just kind of throwing this stuff out there. I like to talk about food, but again, Joe Biden is, he's actually trying to tackle something, and, as long as we're moving the ball forward, really, I think that that's a good thing. But let's keep going. These ideas would require legislation to pass Congress. Once again, that will never happen. There are some things the administration can do on its own. In the coming weeks, the Agriculture and Defense Departments will use pandemic relief funding to expand online shopping for food in more states and with more retailers under the Women, Infants, and Children WIC food stamp programs. Food stamps is usually referred to as SNAP nowadays. And for the first time, a nutritionist will be hired to support the Bureau of Indian Affairs and Bureau of Indian Education to help create indigenous food hubs at schools and detention centers. Do they really, are the official names of this shit really still Indian? That's hilarious. The administration is keen on treating food as medicine. Now, this is an interesting concept. Let's see. The White House is buying into the idea of using food as medicine. It wants Congress to pass legislation for pilot programs that would cover medically tailored meals for people who are on Medicare and to expand access to nutrition and obesity counseling for people on Medicare and Medicaid. Great. So you need to have health insurance? Hey, it's a step in the right direction, right? The administration also wants to encourage private health insurance companies to cover medically tailored meals and more nutritional services. Okay. The White House says it's time to update food labels. The White House says it wants the FDA to conduct research and propose new rules for nutrition labels to go on the front of food packages. The system should quickly and easily communicate nutrition information, such as star ratings. I don't know, man. I don't know about star ratings, right? These private companies and corporations, they're really... I don't know about star ratings, right? We're going to be seeing some fucked up shit if you've got like a 5-star fucking pack of fucking... I don't even know what the fuck. Traffic light schemes, okay, to promote equitable access to nutrition information and healthier choices. So you have to make it so dumbed down that a 3-year-old can understand. How about we just educate the masses on nutrition in general instead of using stars and traffic lights on your food packaging? I don't know. To promote healthier choices and can also prompt industry to reformulate their products to be healthier. Yeah, I'm just letting you know that. That's not happening. A star rating is not going to change. That's not happening. Okay. It also wants to propose an update to guidelines for companies who use the word healthy on food labels. I was at the grocery store the other day. There's a brand of frozen television dinners. It's called Healthy Choice. Healthy Choice. I was, I go to the grocery store. I like to look at the stuff, see what the aliens eat. In this Healthy Choice television dinner, there were 14 grams of added sugar. There was 1 gram of soluble fiber. Only 1. Now, again, the daily recommended minimum is 25. There was, I think, 12 grams of protein, mostly in the form of short-chain amino acid. And it's called Healthy Choice. One of the top ingredients is high fructose corn syrup. It's called Healthy Choice. You ever look at a lean pocket? Yeah, lean pocket. I gotta stay lean. I can't have the hot pockets anymore. Oh, no, 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 no. I gotta stay lean. Spring break's coming up. I gotta go on a diet. Gotta get some lean pockets. Again, gigantic amounts. High fructose corn syrup, all in that shit. And yet they call it healthy food. They call it healthy. I mean, the brand on the other one is literally called Healthy Choice. I mean, I don't even know what the fuck. But, I don't know, man. It's crazy. So anyway, we live in a fucked up country. I'm going to be honest. I'm glad that the Biden administration is trying to move the ball forward. Congress is never going to approve this. Private companies? You think you're going to trust that private companies are going to stop putting drugs in the food? Why would they do that? Why would a drug dealer stop giving their paying customers addictive drugs? They want money. They're going to put drugs in the food, and they're going to addict you to sugar, chemicals, other things, so that you go back and buy more food. Why would a private corporation, from the goodness of their heart, look at look at the star rating? Well, you know what they're going to do? They're going to buy out some food industry studies to be done that says, oh, actually, this is 5 stars. So, I'm just letting you know. But anyway, I'm glad that this is in the news. This is a conversation that needs to be happening. And so hopefully I've provided some information for y'all on the subject. But again, just a quick one. Chlorine in the chicken. Any chicken product you eat in the United States has probably been chlorinated. You might be thinking, what? I know, right? It's banned everywhere else in the world. We're talking about pork processing plants under the Trump administration in 2019 and 2020 completely slashed their food safety programs. What they do is they have conveyor belts, right? And so what they'll do is they'll have people on the conveyor belts, and they'll pick out the rat feces, the cockroach corpses, the dead ferrets, right? All the shit, they pick out the shit, right? And so the Trump administration in 2020 and 2019, what they did is they basically sped up the conveyor belt and reduced the amount of people that are there to pick it up. So oftentimes when you buy pork products, they've been sitting around in rat shit. So that's really cool. Beef. Let's talk about beef. Beef is often, animals are tortured, right? They are often, fed, again, corn, high fructose corn syrup sometimes, but usually just corn, and other sorts of really low nutrition grains that are subsidized by the U.S. government. And so it results in them developing diseases, tumors, cancers, etc. So a lot of the meat, especially when you eat ground beef, you don't know what the fuck's in there. You don't know what's in ground beef. You don't know what's in a hot dog. You have no idea. Chances are there's rat shit in there. Chances are there's tumors and cancer. Now, again, we know that all of these big pandemics that we've been seeing, they originate from meat, from poorly processed, poorly made meat. People sell meat at markets, and then, it gets hot in the sun, and people eat the meat. It's been poisoned, something. Then, there you go. A disease is born. So I'm just saying, right? When you live in the United States, it's a minefield. It's a minefield. Going to the grocery store, I mean, let's be honest. I mean, think about it the movie They Live. You got the glasses on. Hold up. Where are my sunglasses? I got a collection here. So think of it, we're in They Live, right? And you go to the grocery store, right? And you put the glasses on, right? It's all drugs. It's all drugs. You're going to see the giant sign, drugs, poison, 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 drugs. Right? You take the glasses off. Oh, it's salad dressing. Drugs. Holy shit. Again, they put high fructose corn syrup in salad dressing. You got to make your own salad dressing. So anyway, stick to the outer areas of the grocery store. Try to avoid most of the aisles. Really the only aisle that I typically will go to is the canned aisle. Canned food, typically it's okay. Is it as good as fresh? No, but it's significantly cheaper. And so, if you're on a budget, that's always good. But anyway, there you go. Just wanted to do an extended segment on food because I know you're not getting that shit anywhere else. I know that. Yeah. All you motherfuckers are like, oh, I'm going to watch Majority Report after that. They're just going to talk about Tucker Carlson again for another hour. No, we got to talk about healthy fucking food here because I know you're not getting that shit in your media diet anywhere else. So there you go. Goddamn They Live. What a good movie.